So a U-Perm on square one is an EP algorithm, and they look sort of like this. Now here's the first case. Unlike 3x3 where you might hold it from the front, you actually hold this case from the back, and it's fairly easy to recognize. All you do is you look to the right side and make sure that the edge piece is opposite to the corner pieces right next to it. You could execute this algorithm. A little faster, this algorithm looks like this. So the next case is sort of the opposite of that case. When you look over here, you notice that this edge piece is not similar to the right side. So for this case, you start by misaligning the layer like this. A little faster, this algorithm looks like this. Now those were the U-Perms that were on the top layer. Now these ones are going to be on the bottom layer. So this is just like the first one. Basically, you recognize it on the right side where the edge piece is the opposite color of these corners. And you start the algorithm like this. A little faster, the algorithm looks like this. Here's the next one. Just like the other cases, you recognize on the right side where this edge piece is not opposite to these two colors. So you start the algorithm by misaligning the bottom layer like this. Now, unlike the other U-Perms, this one is a little different. Instead of only solving the top or the bottom layer, it actually solves both. But if you start with the equator solved, then you will have to flip it at the end of the algorithm. So just for specific reasons, I will be starting with the equator solved for this algorithm. So you basically hold it so that the bars, the solve side is on the left, and the opposite edge is on the top, and the unsolved edge is on the bottom. So what you do is you misalign this algorithm and start like this. And like I said earlier, you will have to fix the equator if you started with it already solved. A little faster, this case looks like this. Now this is just the mirror of the other case with the adjacent edge on top and the opposite edge on the bottom, but this one's a little different. So what you have to do for the top is do a U2, but make sure that it's not lined up like this. It's off by misalignment. So all that you'll have on this end is two opposite corners and one opposite edge of the same color, and you start the algorithm like this. And of course, you'll have to refix the equator if you started with it unsolved. A little faster, this case looks like this. A little faster, this case looks like this. Now, this set of U-Perms is a little bit different. It is easier to recognize, but a little harder to execute. These two edges that are opposite to the surrounding color, so it's pretty easy to recognize, and you start the algorithm by misaligning by a -2 so that the solved bar is facing you right here, and then do it like this. And execute it a little faster, this algorithm looks like this. So here's the next one. These two edges are adjacent to the surrounding color, and like the other one, you misalign by -2 before you start the algorithm so that the solve bar is facing you. So you execute it like this. Now execute it a little quicker, it looks like this. Now I will be timing myself for all 8 U-Perms.